DC now. We at the FAA building. Lord God, it's everywhere. Hold on. Alright, Shalom. This is y&ymission. Alright, we out here, we in DC. I tried to get down here earlier, but my schedule. Alright. So we're gonna face the east, we're gonna open up. Alright. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem, the Crocodiles. This is y&ymission. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do well. y&ymission teaches the 100% true doctrine is GMS. I want to go into these airlines. I told you, we've been telling you, okay, the Real ID, TSA, these airlines, these air carriers, all this shit is going down, okay? Now you have Play Airlines, which is an overseas airline. They did have a few terminals here. I know they had a terminal in BWI, okay, Baltimore, Washington Airport, and probably Dulles, okay, Play Airlines. Okay, so, and goddamn Spirit gonna be up out of there by October 30th, I believe. So, these budget carriers, Southwest is a budget carrier too. They're domestic, but they're gonna, they're gonna go through their shit sooner or later too. So these air carriers are gonna basically be up out of there pretty soon. Okay, the airline industry, aerospace industry is collapsing. Okay, because the Heavenly Father is bringing this place down. Then you got the FAA. Then the government shutdown has started already. So you're gonna have a problem with staffing and pay for air traffic controllers, and then you're gonna have issues with military pay. Okay, and certain federal agencies. Okay, so the Heavenly Father shut this place down slowly but surely, which is going to ultimately it's going to disrupt these airports. It's going to disrupt the air operations. And it's going to disrupt the airlines ultimately, which is going to affect the airlines. Bottom line is money, because as long as these planes sit on the tarmac, which is the the airport, they sit outside, they're not making the airlines any money. Okay, so in order for these air carriers to stay afloat or survive or thrive, people have to be flying and they have to be moving aircraft around. Aircraft have to be up in the air. Since the Heavenly Father has been clamping down on Babylon the Great, more and more issues with airlines, whether it be crew members in the aircraft, or whether it be passengers in the aircraft, or whether it be the aircraft itself with mechanical issues or just bad weather. The Heavenly Father has been making these these aircraft turn back around, or they can't fly, or they can't go to a city, or they have to be diverted. Okay, and then you got the airport outages. Okay, they're trying to pass it off as like antiquated technology and whatnot, but that's not the case. The Heavenly Father is interfering with Esau's technology, because the Heavenly Father gave Esau all this technology. Okay, on the left hand side. So Yahweh, the angels, Yahweh Shah, they know this shit inside out, because they gave, Heavenly Father has given this man the blueprint, the base man to do this, okay, to set this up, and now he's disrupting it, okay, and with disruptions, it's going to come cancellations, delays, and with cancellations and delays, that's going to be a higher risk for the passengers to be put in harm's way. Okay, you see what happened at DCA earlier this year, right? Okay, so people are going to be put to death. So I'm doing my best to try to warn the House of Israel, you 2/3, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and also you heathens, you Arabs, you Chinese, you Japanese, you so-called whites, American whites, you Hamites, you Africans. Okay, I'm trying my best to warn you all that it's not going to be safe to fly as every day goes forward. Okay, these airlines are going to leave you stranded. Okay, they're going to not tell you what's really going on. They're going to fake it until they make it, and they're going to ride these planes with mechanical issues and stuff until the wheels literally fall off these bitches. Okay, all right. And it was one. Can't remember what airline, but it was like this month or last month that the pilot said that he got on the intercom and they recorded it. He said he wasn't going to fly the plane from Hawaii back to the mainland here in Babylon the Great, America, to California, because he said the plane had issues. So he decided to keep the plane in Hawaii. Look it up. Pilot doesn't fly a plane back to America or something because of mechanical issues. I think it was like United or American. All right, it's really not that many airlines no more. It's probably like a handful. We got what? Southwest, Delta, United, and American, right? That's really it. Spirit is out of there. Frontier, they gonna be out of there soon. They faking it like they strong. Their CEOs are gonna fake it like they got everything under control when they really don't. So I'm warning you all that the Heavenly Father is gonna start dropping these planes more if this man Esau doesn't do a ground stop, ultimately do a ground stop. But we know he's not going to do it. Okay, these planes are going to be ran into the ground. It's not enough mechanics and parts being made to service these planes. Okay, airlines are canceling orders. Okay, I believe Southwest canceled the 737 Max or the 10 Max. Okay, so it's a lot going on. That's why I'm in front of the FAA building. Okay, 6, all right, 6 independent. The 6 is man. So they straight realm of man. That's spiritual. Okay. So the FAA, it says U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration. Okay, we out here in D.C. in the FAA. Okay, and these boys is going down. They already down. Now, what might happen is, if this thing draws out, the longer the shutdown draws out, it's going to just wreak havoc with everything. Okay, so the Heavenly Father might, it's a day of atonement, and the Heavenly Father might draw this thing out for 7 days. 7 is completion. So if he does that, it's going to ultimately disrupt more air travel. It's going to ultimately disrupt the flow of everything that's going on, the transportation. Okay, so if I'm speaking to you as a man, okay, and a man that's dealing with the Lord and whatnot, it would be best for you 2/3 and you heathens to stop flying. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, give your, drive, okay, catch a train or something to wherever you need to go, because this airline industry is going down. And then TSA, they're not going to be getting paid, okay? So you're not going to have no security at these airports. Then you're not going to have anybody in these towers, ultimately, that is going to be able to direct the aircraft to even get off the ground, let alone in the damn air. There's been plenty of times when these aircraft centers, these patrolling centers, have been disconnected from one another, and they got to use the goddamn aircraft frequency to communicate with each other, because the actual centers can't contact each other. Okay, that's the Heavenly Father disrupting this place. That's going to put you all more risk if you keep flying. Okay, you keep flying and not listening to the men of the Lord, servants of the Lord, the prophets, the elders. Okay, you're not listening. Okay, and we understand you're not going to listen. That's why you're set up. It's a lot of people set up to be destroyed. Which, when we say destroyed, that means killed. Okay, you will be put to death because you don't listen. And that's why Yahweh Shai is about to pull up and catch everybody with their pants down. And that's why in these dreams you hear a lot of people say, oh, it was a nice day. I was going about my day in my dream. And then all of a sudden, I just seen a whole bunch of people running around. Right. Because y'all are going to be caught off guard. But the men of the Lord, servants of the Lord, okay, starting with apostles, the elders, a great millstone all the way down, have been warning you and telling you what's going to happen over the decades. I've only been doing this for 5 years. Okay. So I'm new, but the apostles and elders of Great Millstone have been out there for decades saying the same thing I'm now just saying. They've been saying it longer. Okay, so it will behoove you to listen, okay, because you're playing with your life, okay? But the blood is going to be off our hands because you've been warned about everything. Okay, so catch your flights, do whatever you're going to do, go to the airport. Okay, once Trump lock these airports down, because he's going to do that, because they're already federally controlled by the FAA and TSA and goddamn Border Patrol. That's the feds. Okay, they're already federally controlled. So, you know, now they try to get these cities, and we know all the major airports that everybody uses are close or in these cities. Okay, and that they want to lock down the air. They want to use these airports to, you know, to ward off any incursions of other aircraft, or to put batteries, you know, Patriot missiles in and shit like that. They want to, because they already know y'all don't want to hear about they ready to go to war and do blase. Netanyahu and Israel, is that they know Babylon, Egyptians, y'all don't want to hear that. So they trying to sneak their way in. They trying to bring, you know, go around the actual, instead of coming through the front door, they want to come through the back door, basically on the people of the country, okay, with everything. They try to be snakes, because we know how Esau is, okay? He's cunning, all right? So, I'm gonna bring out some scriptures, man, and then, you know, so, like I've been saying with these airlines, because I've been reporting on these airlines having issues and going, you know, having problems and whatnot, okay? Job 33:14, for Yahweh speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth not. Right. And he's been speaking in dreams to people. They really, a lot of, bro, if everybody, like, a major amount of people, heathen and of you tribes, would actually bring out your dreams online, we would have a clearer picture of what to expect. But a lot of you all don't. A lot of you all here speak to y'all in dreams, send people your way, like stuff that's not coincidental or just can't be summed up by spiritual, but by only spiritual intervention. You all won't say nothing about it. So okay, that's cool. All right. So he said he speak once, yeah, twice, but men perceive it not. All right. So y'all don't perceive what the Heavenly Father is saying. Okay. And with all this stuff that's going on with these airline industries, with money and the issues of maintenance and the crew members and the passengers that are wilding out on these planes, that is him speaking. He's telling you, stop flying, don't, stay put where you are. Okay, everybody's doing what they're supposed to do anyway, and everybody is in their lot, and everybody is where they're supposed to be at in whatever state, whatever country, okay, whatever time zone. So that's going to be where you're going to be at as this thing gets out of hand more and more, okay? But he's been speaking. Esau is trying to cover it up, okay? The Heavenly Father is speaking, but Esau is trying to cover it up, and he can't. He can't hold it in no more. That's why he's what, gonna come down with what? Great wrath, right? All right? Psalms 119 and 126. It is time for thee, Yahweh, to work, for they have made void thy law. Right. So it's time for him to work. Okay, so he's going gradualism. That's where Amalek, Netanyahu, okay, these fake Jews, that's when they learn to do stuff by how the Heavenly Father does it, gradualism. So he's gradually, now he puts you in a trap now, because we don't know how long the Heavenly Father is going to keep the government shut down this time. And that's going to affect your safety, people's safety on these aircraft. Okay, it's going to affect, you know, everything. You already got airlines now, you know, collapsing. Budget airlines collapsing because nobody got no money. So just imagine Delta. Say if this shit like lasts for like 2 weeks, that's 14 days. Then what? Everything gonna be gone. You ain't gonna have no airline industry in the U.S. Like, how many airlines have, like, I'm talking about just mainland domestic U.S. airlines have went under? About like a handful, right? A dozen, probably. Yeah, probably a dozen. And then if the airline is not going out of business or closed, shutting down, you got strikes happening with the pilots and the flight attendants. You know, they either asking for more money or they going on strike because more money, and these unions. And remember, these unions are in bed with the feds. Okay, they report to the feds. So these unions are gonna bend. They're gonna take a knee, and then they're gonna pass it off to who? The flight attendants, the pilots, the people that work at the airports, and then y'all gonna have to either bend the knee or get furloughed too. So Most High is putting a clamp. He putting everybody in a box, and this box is getting smaller and smaller. That pressure. He putting your back up against the wall. But the men of the Lord, servants of the Lord that that are with Yahweh and Yahweh Shah, our backs are not against the wall because we already know what to expect. We already know this is going down. We already know how this starts, how it's going to go, and how it's going to end. You all are the one that don't know anything, okay? And that's why it's our job as men of the Lord, servants of the Lord, to be watchmen and warn you all, okay? You 2/3, okay? You heathens, because you all don't know nothing, okay? You want to go about your life like ain't shit popping off, ain't shit going on, okay? You want to ignore your dreams. You want to ignore these weather phenomena. You want to ignore the price of food and whatnot, okay? And think you're just going to wing it. No, you're not going to wing it, all right? You're not going to make it, all right? All right, so it's time for the Most High to work, okay? The Heavenly Father to work, all right? And that's what he's doing, all right? By doing this government shutdown, because it's time for him to work, all right? So we don't know how long it's going to last. The longer this government shutdown lasts, the worse it's going to be for the airline industry, ultimately the FAA, all right? 2nd Ezra 6 and 18, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, right? Days. So this is going to be, like I said, gradualism. He's gradually coming, okay, in days, okay, in waves, okay. He's visiting this place, okay. He's seeing about people. He's seeing about these companies, okay. He's seeing about these governments, okay. He's seeing about these judgments, okay. You 2/3. He's seeing about these heathens, okay. He's seeing about, ever since the Passover this year, man, shit has really changed, okay. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost in my life, okay? Not for the worse, for the better, but people around me, the news, everything, you 2/3, you heathens, okay? It's getting worse ever since the Passover. Then we had all these blood moons and eclipses and stuff since then. So I documented all this stuff on my page, okay? On my YouTube page, just on there. You gotta look on my shorts. I did videos. So this warning has went out, okay, and it's been out and been known about from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone all the way down. They've been telling you all these things that's happening right now, even before I got here. Like I said, I'm new. I'm a newborn babe. I don't really know a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, but everything is happening, okay? So time is up, basically. Time ain't short no more. Time is up, all right? Time is up for this government, okay? Now you see it's a major divide, okay, going on, okay? So a lot of people are about to feel this pressure, okay? A lot of Babylonians, y'all gonna feel this pressure, especially in the airline industry. It is collapsing. It's collapsing worldwide too, but it's collapsing here, okay? Because the majority, for a long time, a lot of people have brought into the aircraft from Babylon the Great, that's America, okay, these air carriers, okay, overseas have drunken Babylon's wine, and that's part of that is their rules and regulations and who can buy planes and who can lease them and who can trade them, and Boeing was running shit for years, and that's American based, that's a Babylon based company. Boeing, and then you got the other Europeans, which is Airbus, okay, the other Europeans, that's still the same bird, the same group of people, Edomites, but Babylon was running shit for a long time and established a lot of shit in the air, okay? So, and they still do, but the Heavenly Father is what? Bringing this eagle down, because though thou exalt thyself like an eagle, he shall bring them what? Down. And that's what he's doing. And part of that is the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, and that's these air carriers, aerospace, these planes that are flying, your commercial airports, they're all going to be shut down, brought down to naught, okay, pretty soon. Okay, and that's what's going on. All right? So the Heavenly Father is visiting this place. As he gradually increases his visitation to Babylon the Great, you're going to see the FAA and the airline industries collapse more and more and more. That's flights, more delays, more cancellations, more just random shit, more passengers wilding out on a plane, more flight attendants crying and complaining and getting fired, more pilots getting sick or dying or whatever, or just retiring, or being furloughed or let go. Okay, so it's going to happen more and more as the Heavenly Father visits this place. Okay, Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. You heard what he told me to do. Okay, he made me a watchman. I'm warning you all. Stay out these airports. Stay off these aircraft. Okay, while you can, because we know y'all 2/3 of the heathens. Y'all gonna do whatever you want to do. It would behoove for you to be in your best interest to try to drive, walk, or catch a train. Okay, because coming up, okay, these aircraft are gonna be ultimately grounded. Okay, they're gonna be ultimately having more issues. They're gonna ultimately be falling out the skies, having accidents, collisions. You see a lot of ground collisions, aircraft clipping each other and stuff, just stupid shit. Okay, that's the Heavenly Father doing that, causing all kinds of confusion and making stuff chaotic on the ground before these planes even get in the air. That's because he's speaking. He wants a ground stuff. But we know that Esau and Amalek are not going to do that, because they exalt themselves as the eagle, as the bird. They like to fly. Okay, that's how they gain power over these nations. If you don't do what we say, we gonna bomb you, and after we bomb you with our aircraft, okay, that's how Russia does it. That's how the Europeans, white Europeans do it, and that's how the West European Americans do it. Okay, and that's how Amalek, Israel's doing it. Okay, they don't have a big military now, but they got jets, okay, that they're using to bomb. Then we see that in Qatar. They just blew up a whole bunch of motherfucking Arabs, Ishmael, out the blue. Okay, so you don't do what we say. We're gonna bomb you, and after we bomb you, we're gonna come in and secure you. Okay, so that's why, because the aircraft is a weapon. He's have weaponized flight. He turned flight into a sword. So he's gonna destroy this bitch, okay? Because of that. And that's why you're gonna have these airline industries and aircraft carrier air carriers going down, okay? And after that, after they get the aircraft, the public's commercial aircraft out the skies, then they're gonna fill it with military aircraft, okay, in these airports and stuff. All right, that's the next move. That's what they're gonna do. All right, because they know who's gonna come. They know these missiles are gonna come and try hit certain targets, and they know that ultimately Russia and China are gonna they're gonna fly their aircraft, okay, over here and into this place. Okay, that's why it's gonna be a major war. All right, not to mention domestic shit. All right, so they need to start staging their shit. All right, but they don't want to alarm everybody, because if people start seeing aircraft, military aircraft, jets and stuff just posted up super hard at these airports, then people gonna start asking questions. Okay, and then it's ultimately gonna lead back to Yahweh. It's gonna ultimately lead to the prophets and elders. Because once people start asking questions, that's a problem for Esau. That's why famine of the word is about to come out. That's why they're going to cut the internet. That's why men of the Lord, servants of the Lord, telling y'all to take these warnings, get this knowledge and wisdom and understanding and truth while you can. Because it's all about to be gone. Then this is why the Heavenly Father said that people are going to be running to and from what's spamming the word, because y'all ain't going to know what to do. Because you didn't listen. You kept putting it off. Stupid. So that's why I'm giving you warning. Ezekiel 3:18, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not a warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. So if I don't do that, okay, tell this man he gonna die if he keep lying or keep doing this or eating that or going here, hanging with this. If we don't warn you all, okay, to save his life, okay, the same wicked man, he gonna die. He's our ultimately God. But then what the Most High gonna say that's gonna happen to me, man of the Lord, okay, a servant, okay, but his blood will I require of thy hand, right, okay, So Ezekiel 3:19, yet if thou warn the wicked and he turn not from his wicked way, from his wickedness, because we know you niggas is not gonna listen. We know you heathens ain't gonna listen, and you already got your blessing anyway. Okay? So, and he turned not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Okay? Alright, so we warning you, and that man that hears this video, that woman that hears this video, that's a 2/3 heathen, and they say, oh, that's bullshit. Nothing ain't gonna happen to the FAA. The government gonna open back up. I'm about to catch my plane. Woo, 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 woo. Alright, but we put it out there. But if anything happened, okay, to y'all, whatever, we not gonna be penalized. I'm not gonna be penalized because the warnings went out. Okay? So the blood is gonna be off my hand. Ezekiel 33:3. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, and he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Right? So right, it's a sword coming upon this land. And it's gonna come from the air, it's gonna come from the sea, and it's gonna come from the land. Okay? It's gonna be invasions, it's gonna be your own people. The sword is coming. Okay, and you know, here in DC, you know, everybody is gonna try to get to DC. Okay, from the outside. That's why, what he say, it's people within the military that now they want to do a purge, okay, because they think that they're going to have issues to push back in the military, and they are, all right? So that's what I'm saying. This shit is about to pop off, all right? So men of the Lord, servants of the Lord, are what? Out there, what? Blowing the trumpet, letting it be known what's about to happen, okay? And I'm letting you know what's about to happen as far as what this government shutdown and how the FAA is going to be affected, how it's going to ultimately affect the airports and ultimately affect people flying. Okay, you 2/3 you heathens. Okay, and ultimately it's going to lead to more chaos, more you know, dysfunction, more just hindrances. All right, and ultimately death. All right. Ezekiel 33:4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take not the warning, that's you 2/3 of heathen, y'all hear the men of the Lord, servants of the Lord, blowing that trumpet, putting their voice out there, doing the work. You see them on the highways and byways. You see them on the information superhighway, which is the internet, blowing the trumpet, warning you of all types of aspects of life, okay, all types of industries of this country and this world, all types of things that are about to happen and prophecies, right? If the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Right, because he didn't listen, all right? Because we blew the trumpet and he didn't hear it. He failed to react to us blowing the trumpet. That's our voice, putting our voice, you know, listening. Ezekiel 33:5. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not the warning. His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. Right, and that's especially for the house of Israel. So you 2/3 and heathens, okay, if you hear the word, the men of the Lord blowing a trumpet and whatever they're talking about, okay, or warning you about, take heed, okay, because you'll deliver your soul, you'll save yourself, okay, you'll save yourself the headache or whatever the Heavenly Father's would have put on you, okay. But we know somebody's got to be a winner and somebody's got to be a loser, all right? So basically, that's all, you know, I just wanted to bring out, man. You know, time is up. Time ain't short no more. Stuff ain't coming to pass. It's happening, okay? And you've been warned, okay, for decades by a great millstone, okay? You've been warned for decades. So, like I said, my little niche was, you know, warning you all about the aircraft, the airline industry, and how it's collapsing, and this government shutdown, as long as it lasts and keeps going, that's going to be more of a hindrance and more of a collapse for these airlines and the air carriers, and ultimately Esau's aerospace. All right. So with that, okay, I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. This is y&ymission. I'd like to say Shalom.